G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Institute Plasma Rifle. This is a standalone weapon using somewhat vanilla assets. They've been a bit niff-bashed, as they say on the modders page, to add yourself a plasma rifle. But instead of a regular old plasma rifle from the vanilla game that fires blobs of plasma, this is actually a plasma beam weapon, which basically turns the lasers green, but makes the effect of the impact of the projectile the plasma blob. So it's actually kind of cool to see, and plasma beam, good stuff, really good stuff. Biggest problem with the plasma guns in this game is how slow their projectiles are compared to literally everything else, which is hit scan. So having a hit scan plasma gun, that's cool. As you can tell, we've also got ballistic and energy damage, much like the vanilla game plasma gun. And I think it makes sense for the Institute to develop slightly better weapons than what we have in the pre-war civilization for Fallout universe, because you'd think, you know, over the years that they'd figure out that, hey, we should do this and this to make the guns better and have the superior technology. But no, in the vanilla game, the Institute laser gun is actually inferior in terms of damage than the standard one, but whatever. There's a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense about the Institute, but what does make a whole lot of sense is this thing's attachments, which you'll find are basically the same as what you'd get out of the laser guns in the vanilla game, which you got overcharged for the best damage. You've also got the ones with the criticals. That would be the photon agitators. This one's boost. That's basically the equivalent of the powerful calibrated receiver. Gamma wave ones, I think they give you ammo capacity and they give you burning damage over time, but as you can tell, the overcharged capacitor is definitely the one to do for damage. Now, probably going to make another one of these with the boosted photon agitator, because using this thing in VATS, I think, would be a good idea for any sort of energy weapon. So right now I've got the automatic barrel. There's also options for a splitter, a short barrel, an improved short barrel, improved splitter, improved auto barrel. There's also these cool sniper barrels, which, if they're to be believed to be the same as the laser gun sniper barrels, they're not going to be that powerful when fired in quick succession, but I got to assume that that is out of it, or that sort of effect may be out of it. And you can see they've limited the rate of fire here, but the range and accuracy you get out of these, as well as damage, is actually really good. So hopefully there's no charging thing there. If there is, though, however, we can use this thing in VATS because it's a guaranteed full charge whenever you shoot it. So improved sniper barrel it is. Right now I've got a standard stock. You can make this have a 0 stock. You can have a comfort stock, which doesn't make it look more comfortable at all. And there's also a marksman's. That's for when you aim down sights, that's less scopes away. Recoil compensating, that one's self-explanatory. Let's go for a marksman stock, because I intend for this one to have a scope, which we've got onto now. It's got a short scope, a reflex sight, looks very vanilla game there, mounted pretty high above that. And the scopes, I think, have been remeshed slightly. The lens here, I guess, is a little bit further back than what you'd see on the standard Institute scopes, but that's pretty much how it goes. Let's go for a medium scope on this. There's also night vision and recon scope options, which give you a reflex sight housing, but they've actually shrunk down the microwave for the recon scopes and fit it right inside there. That's actually a really good looking recon scope. Nice. Alright, we'll maybe experiment with those ones later, but that's what we've got for our first Institute plasma rifle. Also, legendary effect is there if we need it. We shall not use that, even though I'm looking at instigating now and thinking this would be very strong, but let's refrain from doing that. Let's make a couple more of these, and we'll show you what it does in combat. Righto, so I've created a couple of these plasma guns just to show off now before we get into it, and a couple of things to mention. So this one, the sniper one that you saw earlier, this one is going to be automatic with a reflex sight. This one here, shotgun barrel on this one with iron sights, and this one is a compact for use in VATS. Now, a couple of things. This thing uses Institute rifle textures from the vanilla game, which means it's going to be very light on your install size, which is great. Also compatible with any retextures that you have on them. Also compatible with the Creation Club textures, and getting this thing is easy, and it'll tell you a story about exactly how strong this thing was tuned to be. So it's on the level list. Past level 10 you'll see this dropping, so keep an eye out for Institute, since they might be firing this at you, which you can loot from after you've felled them. Now, that tells you that this thing's probably not going to be the most end-game viable weapon in the game at all, so maybe it is baby's first plasma rifle in the game. So interesting, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to push this thing to limits in a second, so let's go. Also, I tested, there's no charging factor here, so we're going to be trigger happy on this barrel, which is good news. Righto, welcome to the immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is what the Institute plasma gun looks like in first person. Not the first Institute plasma gun I used. I remember way back using an Institute turbo plasma rifle, which looked a little bit more complex than this thing. That's what it looks like in third person, by the way. Pretty cool. And when you fire this thing, note the sounds here are that of the alien blast and the reload animations of the vanilla plasma gun. So a decent retooling of assets there. I think they've done pretty well. Honestly, the alien blaster sound, I don't dig it that much. Maybe if you overlay just a regular plasma gun sound on top of it, that might make it sound just a little bit better, because right now it just sounds like a toy. It's not alien enough to really sell me on the sound. Here is the second one I made. This one here, automatic barrel recoil compensating stock reflex sight. This one here is the shotgun version, which has a pretty decent spread, and the rate of fire isn't that terrible either. You also notice with the traces here that it's like they're from the laser musket. Notice how they sort of bend and taper off as the laser beam sort of dies off for a second there. It starts off straight and then it goes all bendy and twisty before it fades out. So I think that's laser musket things there. Perfect for sort of shotgun sub-projectiles, I guess. This is the VATS one that I made with that really comfortable looking stock that you're definitely not clipping your thumb through right there. Probably not good on the DPS side, but I would back this one to use in VATS all day. Let's start off with a little bit of sniping first from this new little sniping squad. Apparently, this trailer is just like a cloak of shadows because you can stay stealthy in it for bloody ages, and the question is, where do we want to start? There's a couple of people here, but that sort of pole's in the way, so maybe it's not the best idea. Maybe the one down front here, we might be able to get a cheap little headshot on, and that might hurt them on their approach here, because these guys up top, they stay up there. That's a kill right there. That's our first. But the ones down low, they're the ones that actually will charge at you, and they'll get you detected once you get too close to them. I'm going to try to keep this up. And now we're in danger. That didn't last super long now, did it? Let's switch over to the automatic one here. And that was only 12 in the magazine there. Before you heal, we'll try to finish you off. Now, this might be the classic case of mag dump gets the job done, as it is for most modded weapons, taking on stuff with a half damage penalty. But we got to remember we're playing at a level 10 rated weapon here, and well, it definitely feels like it, to be honest. But, you know, a couple of things. The hit scan nature of the projectiles is really quite nice. The recoil is not that bad either. The biggest problem I have with the weapon and its use is it's just massive visual recoil. The gun likes to dance around in your face, a little tap dance in your face as you're firing. There's a solution to this. It's quite an easy solution. Simply go into third person, then all of that visual recoil goes away. You've got a tiny little dot on your screen for the purposes of aiming. Let's not stick around here for too much longer. I feel like I'm sort of outgunned as I am here, so I take the long way around and surprisingly not get shot all that much. That plan worked surprisingly well considering. Now we've got a couple of these chumps to deal with. That's okay. Someone there has a pretty powerful weapon. Probably within shotgun distance now, so let's go ahead and never mind. Definitely feel on that energy resistance right now, just putting a whole brick wall between me and my damage. Now, generally shotguns in this game, especially when they're energy variety, they're not that impressive, but we've got half ballistic damage here. At close range, you'll get the stagger possibly more frequently, but the rifleman doesn't actually do much to you stagger your enemies, so maybe it's on the limb cripples that you'll get the occasional stagger, which will only get you so far. And if we go ahead and use this thing a little bit more in third person, perhaps that might solve our problems. It just doesn't feel that strong at all, especially when we can't out damage a stim pack heal. That's not good. And now we're in so much trouble that I'm going to run in here, reload my automatic one, and we'll begin a nerd rage streak right here. Let's go. Ah, the bouncing and the dancing is even worse in third person. That's terrible. Come on, at least 3 kills for this nerd rage. Okay, we're in a spot of bother at the moment. Question is, can I shoot through this? I can! There we go. If every gunner would like to stand up there. And were they bashing? They're bashing through the wall. Okay, this is not an endgame weapon. We have to, let's just cool down a bit. Let's reduce the tempo. We're outgunned here. Okay, in order to slow things down, we're going to be fighting significantly less bloodthirsty mercs. I think that is the way to go here. So we'll go into the inside of Gunner's Plaza, and we'll get started with our sniper variant. We'll try to get some headshots here, try to maximize their sneak criticals, which that was never going to happen. And now I get screen shake from those bloody turrets down there. You've made this personal. You die now. There we go. Fortunately, the turrets are squishy. These gunners, however, are not. Bad time to peek, lady. And like I was prattling on about before, just aim this thing in third person. You won't have any problems with the gun's recoil, which are the same as the vanilla recoil animations for the plasma gun, but I think it's slightly less bad off here because with the plasma gun, the reflex sight is a big open thing, so you're less obstructed by the little hexagon thing that I'm seeing housing the reflex sight. But that's probably just me being petty, so we'll move on from that. We'll go to standard iron sights now for this particular version, and shotgun this particular gunner. Little baby gunner goes down in one shot. Okay, perhaps a little bit cheap, but now we're going to get a big old VATS round. So if you please want to sneak here. And now we're on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let's go back to this guy. What else we got? 7, 8, 9, 10. And I believe that should be good. So we're going to go for crits and everything. Probably should have crit that first shot, but we might get some back. Now, I've got to wonder whether those explosive bullets is hurting that gunner who's standing right next to me. Yep, I was right to double up on those criticals. And now, it's an infinite crit show from here. That one was far too personal. Enjoy the show. Making use out of all the variants here. Get another one. That's a Grim Reaper sprint proc. We should be right to have all crits loaded after this. No, not that one. And that's it. Anything else? Yes, of course. You are a little bit tougher. Let's do this properly. We'll start here. And then 1, 2, 3 for you. And 1, 2, 3 for you. We'll go for crits again, but we've got the gun through bonus backing us on the second and third shots on this. Probably don't even need the crit here, but I'm going to do it anyway. You'll see that they're melting into the goo piles as well, which is what happens normally with plasma guns. So you can still harvest the nuclear material. Very nice. Okay, didn't actually expect that gunner to actually die after that, but there we go. Not too bad. Using this thing, however, without the use of VATS, yes, not as impressive, I must say. Let's switch back over to the shotgun here. We're definitely not utilizing a powerhouse of DPS here, but it does look like that the longer barrel is significantly stronger. Sorry, the automatic barrel is significantly stronger in terms of DPS than the rest of it. There we go, there's one. I'll be back here for a minute. That person up there, he's lighting my ass up. Just dance around, make it hard to hit. It's working somewhat. Okay, that took far too long. Let's just focus here, try to get some headshots. I gave the MG42 the old Fallout 76 treatment, which is to say it nerfed it. And now I don't die instantly to MG42 gunners. I don't know if the folks at home like seeing me do dangerous shit when facing them, but I could be convinced to turn the damage on those back on again. Maybe. But for now, I think we'll call it there for Gunners Plaza. We'll find no monsters. We'll find like a vanilla game monster for reference, I guess. Alright, so I like sniping with this thing, so we're going to continue doing that. There's a Brahmin over there. I think that's the Brahmin saleswoman, and I don't think she's going to be selling that one. The super mutants will be eating good tonight, but here's what I want to do. I want to get a bit more sniping done before this video is concluded, so we'll just shoot these little baby raiders. They'll be running around, they won't know where I am. They'll never find me because A, I'm stealthy, and B, I'm just too far away for their minds to comprehend. So we can probably keep this up pretty nicely. There's one dead. I think there's got a couple more in there. I'd like it if like a weapon mod came with like a complimentary grenade just to go along with it. Nothing too interesting, just like a frag grenade that you can use to throw up here. I think that guy fell down. He did actually.
You're dead.
You're dead, he says as he's running away. Interesting tactics there. But I think we're going in super close quarters now. It'd be cool if we could get this sort of damage on the gunners. Obviously not one-shotting, but that was a basic raider. Something like that versus the big scary gunners, because even these raider veterans are really making the plasma gun work for it. Not necessarily me, but the plasma gun. It's working a lot for it. And to finish off, we've got a Mylurk Queen to kill. Go for the legs like an AT-AT, no problems there. Get those sneak criticals, you'll be doing pretty well. I think the best ways to run this weapon is obviously sniper barrel with a scope, and then you've got this automatic one for like a backup in close quarters. I don't rate the shotgun barrel at all, but if using a VATS character, I think there's a little bit of merit in utilizing this version with a short scope. You can probably get best of both worlds. Instead of using the short barrel that I've got equipped here, you'll maybe want to use an automatic barrel, and that might get you just slightly better DPS and something you could sort of write home about. But again, it's not an end game weapon, but it served me well, except for out in immersive Gunners Plaza. But that's like that's a test that'll break the lesser weapons, and this thing being lesser in terms of its performance and not damage, I think that'll be my conclusion to that. Still a great weapon mod, so lightweight the console won't even recognize it's been downloaded. Like, it'll download it in like a blink of an eye. That's how fast it'll take. It's like less than a megabyte. So do highly recommend this mod. It's just an extra little fun toy to have there, and it's not even that law breaking either. It's just something you can add. You don't even think about that much. It'd be even better if it was an ESL function platform where it doesn't take up your precious mod slots. You've only got 255 of those, and believe you me, those go quickly when you install weapon mods. But highly recommend this one. Not so much for an endgame thing, but I do believe it's a pretty good weapon mod altogether. So if you're interested in this thing, check out links in the description. They shall be down there. Thank you very much for watching, guys.